A couple of days ago, my brother got me this lovely orchid. It has inspired me to quill my own orchid. So we have a white pot, shades of green for the leaves, stem and buds, a brown stick and brown dirt, and then the actual orchid flower is white and cream, yellow and a hint of red. So I made a sketch in my notebook to work out what colours and shapes I'd need for this design. And you can see here, this is the quilling paper that I'm going to use for this design. Once I had worked out the colours I needed, and I chose a deep red card for the background. So an orchid is made up of 3 sepals and 3 petals. So the 2 big petals on the side, and then there's 1 tiny petal, which is also the lip of the orchid where the bees land to pollinate the flower. Then we have some buds and leaves. For the stick that holds the flower, I got a strip of brown 9mm paper and wound it around a bamboo skewer. Then for the pot, I got a strip of white 9mm paper and folded it into a pot-like shape. At this point, I hadn't glued anything down, I just placed it down so I could test what location worked best. I started with the orchid's white petals and sepals. So each sepal and petal is made up of 2 closed loose coils that I've shaped into semicircles and glued them together. So you can see here that I've got a strip of cream paper that I round around both semicircles to hold them in place. Then I hold down the outside strip together with the backwards tweezers while the glue dried. For the small triangle petal, I rolled 1 strip of white with 1 strip of yellow into a tight coil, and then I shaped that into a triangle. Finally, for the column of the orchid, I rolled a strip of white with a strip of red into a tight coil. And then either side of the column I made 2 teardrop shapes, then finished the flower with 2 tiny rolled strips. Once I was happy with the orchid flowers, I started to make the stem, leaves and buds. The buds are loose coils that I popped out to make a cone. I then flattened them so that the cone would hold its shape. And I made 5 of these cones in different shades of green and different sizes. For the stem near the buds, I glued strips of paper down flat, and then to make it 3D, I glued a couple of different shades of green on edge so it stands up. For the stem out of the pot, I glued a strip of dark green down flat, and then I glued on light green on one side and dark green on the other on edge. And to fill the stem in between the light and the dark green, I got a strip of the medium green, and I used the rip curl effect between the 2 strips of paper on edge. And finally for the leaves, I used a similar process to the petals. I glued 2 semicircles of green, and then to hold them together, I used different shades of green to add interest and some texture to the leaves. To finish, I added black over the stick and the stem, and a few highlights to the leaves. So here's the final product. So it evolved from the actual orchid, then my sketch, and this is the final quilled orchid. The whole design took around 4 hours, so from sketching, testing, designing, and then actually making, it was about 4 hours. And I'm really happy with the final design, and I hope you like it too. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.